here goes with a simple map of Canada. And I'm going to remind you again to try not to worry too much about the provinces coming out the exact right shape that they are on the map, as long as you get them in basically the right place and bordering the right other things. Because I've been practicing this quite a lot, and my provinces still end up a little bit bigger or smaller or taller or whatever than they should be, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the southwestern border of Canada, and I'm gonna go up a little bit from the bottom of my paper because it's gonna come down this direction. I'm gonna find the middle, and then I'm gonna go a little bit left of the middle, like there. And I'm gonna make a mark. I'm gonna draw a line over here, but it's gonna stop a little bit short of this edge of the paper because I need some room for British Columbia to slope up that way. I'm going to make a mark. Then I'm going to find the midpoint of that line and make a mark. And then I'm going to find the midpoint between the center and the right-hand mark, and I'm going to make a mark. This here is going to be Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan is a rectangle that's about 2.5 times as tall as it is wide. So that's about 1 time, and that's about 2 times, and that's about another half. And we're just gonna finish out our rectangle there. That's Saskatchewan. Manitoba starts here, comes up about 1/3 of the way up Saskatchewan, then goes diagonally northeast about another 1/3 of the way, and then this is the shore of Hudson's Bay that slopes back in, sort of scoops back in to about there, about in line with where it came up in the first place. And there's the north border of Manitoba. Now, Alberta and British Columbia, I'm going to find the midpoint of this line, and then I'm going to come back about halfway towards Saskatchewan. And that's going to be where the Alberta starts, but Alberta's border is going to slope up northwest or northwest to about there, and then straight up to the same level as the others. That's Alberta. And British Columbia's coast is gonna jiggle off this way. It does a little bit of an S-curve actually, but we're not going to worry about that now. And to the same level as the others, British Columbia. Now the northern layer of provinces is just a little bit less tall. It's not quite as many miles north-south as the bottom layer, but almost. So Yukon is going to go straight up here, that's the border with Alaska, and just a little bit less tall than British Columbia, so maybe to like there. There's a little bit of Arctic Ocean coast, and then Yukon slopes down and meets British Columbia a little bit west of the corner. That's Yukon territory. This coast goes on this way, maybe slopes a little bit south as it comes along. Now, Northwest Territory is going to start from the Saskatchewan-Manitoba corner, go up maybe 1/3 of the way, then cut over really hard to the west, and come north again, around where the Alberta-British Columbia border is, roughly. And that's going to be Northwest Territory. And then the rest of this is Nunavut. This is the coast of Hudson Bay, and it scoops up and out here to come about level with the corner of Manitoba. And there's a couple little peninsulas, and then there's some more gnarly coastline, which we're not going to try to be very accurate about. And that is the mainland part of Nunavut. There's an island here, Victoria Island. There's a lot of islands, but this is one of the biggest. That is shaped like maybe a ghost or maybe a freaking out person with a big head. and a couple of arms, no legs, just like that. And the border starts at one hand and the other hand and just meets in a corner like that. And this part of it is part of Nunavut, and this part is part of Northwest Territories. Okay, now Ontario. Now at this point, if I was doing Canada and the United States together, I would stop and do the Western United States because it just works out better that way. But since we're just doing Canada for now, I'm going to do Ontario. Ontario slopes down a little bit. The border drifts a little bit south here. Up here, the coast of Hudson's Bay comes along almost straight east, and about the same distance as this leg of Ontario. And then James Bay sticks down about as far as this comes south. It's just a little. And then the shore of Hudson's Bay does a scoop up to about the same level as this border, and then goes north, and that's going to be part of Quebec. Now we've got Great Lakes in here, which are always a little tricky to do, but we'll do a simple version for now. Lake Superior is kind of a triangle. There's a little thing there, it doesn't matter too much. And Lake Huron sort of mirrors Superior, but it's smaller, and it goes over here, and it's like a leaf with 3 leaflets. The first one is there, the second comes down this way, and the third goes there. That's good enough for Huron. It's supposed to be smaller than Superior, but no big deal. Now from the bottom of Huron, there's a little bit of St. Lawrence River here. And then Lake Erie comes back up this way. Then there's a little north bit of river. And then here's Lake Ontario, which is shaped like Erie and points about the same direction, a little bit further north. And so there's this weird sort of spear-like piece of Ontario that sticks out in between the 3 lakes. Then from here, this is the border between Ontario and New York State, and it kind of curves up like that. And the border between Ontario and Quebec is going to come down not very far from Lake Huron and then zig over dramatically and come down and hit the border of New York. And that is Ontario. Now we've got Quebec. Quebec has a little flat part, that's the border with Vermont, and then it has a part that comes up and over, that's the border with Maine, and then after the border with Maine, there's a little diamond-shaped province, roughly, that is New Brunswick, and off of New Brunswick there's a little stalk. Nova Scotia is almost an island, but it's connected by this little stalk, and there is Nova Scotia. From the top of New Brunswick, there's a little pouty lip that is part of Quebec. And then way down in here goes the Gulf of St. Lawrence. This is where the St. Lawrence River widens out to the Atlantic Ocean. And the north shore of the Gulf of St. Lawrence sticks out further than the south and does a little thing like that. And here's Quebec. I think Quebec, together with Labrador, is shaped like a dragon, kind of. It's got an ear here, a bay that goes in, and then there's a horn, and then this is his nose. And from the tip of the horn south, and from the point of the nose west, and then there's a little loop there. This is Labrador, which is half of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. This is Quebec province. And the other part of Newfoundland and Labrador is Newfoundland, which is shaped like a bunny coming off the nose of the dragon here. There's its ear, and there's its body. And that is Newfoundland and Labrador. The smallest province of Canada is Prince Edward Island, which is an island right in here between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Prince Edward Island. Okay, now we got some island to fill in. Baffin Island is a big island in the Arctic Ocean that starts very close to this peninsula, almost closes off Hudson Bay, and curves over here and leaves a little bigger opening over here. And then it's got a lot of fjords on the north side, so I just draw it like a comb or something. Baffin Island, that is part of Nunavut. And then there's a lot of smaller islands in the Arctic Ocean. Ellesmere Island's in here somewhere. I'm not going to try to draw those accurately. There's a zillion of them. They're also part of Nunavut. And the other big island, which is not part of Canada, is Greenland, which is a big shield over here. Now, depending on the map projection that you're using, and whether they're trying to make north be up all over the page, or if they're trying to represent the sizes more accurately, Greenland might point up and be really big, or it might point sideways and be a little bit more normal sized. I like to do it this way, not to make it way bigger than it actually is. This is Greenland. That is not part of Canada. That is a territory of Denmark. And then we just have some bodies of water and stuff. Hudson Bay and James Bay, and this is the Arctic Ocean, and this is the Gulf of Labrador, and you can fill in, I won't do capitals and rivers, they're not difficult to fill in on this, but that gets all your provinces in the right places. I'm looking at this map. I think it looks pretty good. I'm sure not everything is exactly the right shape. I can never get Hudson Bay exactly the right shape. But like I said, don't worry about that too much if all your provinces are basically in the right places and touching the right stuff. Okay, that's all I got.